Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Ryan, aka Alethal Llama. Before we get into the actual video, I'm excited to announce I'm teaming up with my good friends at the Geekcast Network. The Geekcast Network is an up-and-coming production company run by Dan Whitehead, Patrick Howard, and Greg Sinclair. They have a podcast called the Geekcast Podcast, which is on YouTube and iTunes, where they discuss all things media. They would love your support, so be sure to give them a like on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I've put links for the Geekcast Network in the description down below. Now let's get to it. Today, I want to talk to you about Rainbow Six Siege, both an overview of the game and my personal thoughts on the beta. I won't be talking about the various bugs and glitches that were encountered. After all, it's a beta, and these things will hopefully change by launch. Rather, I want to discuss the core gameplay of Rainbow Six. So let's start with the basics. Rainbow Six is a first-person tactical shooter. In its online multiplayer, you take control of one of many operatives each round, alternating between attacking and defending. When your team is attacking, you first send out drones in an attempt to find out where your objective is, where the enemies are, and what kind of traps and obstacles that they've set up for you. It's then up to you and your team to breach the building and either complete your objective or eliminate the enemy team. As defenders, while your opponents are sending their drones out, you have the opportunity to set up defenses and traps. You can reinforce walls, barricade doors, set up remote detonated explosives, and more. On defense, you can also take control of the house's security cameras to get a look at where the enemy team will be attacking from. In each round, each of the 5 players on your team only has 1 life. If you die, you're dead for the remainder of the round. This creates a lot of tension as you breach a room or wait for the enemy operators to breach. Every move could be your last, which encourages each move you make to be calculated and carefully executed. To further add to the tension, as your teammates and enemies fall, a score flashes on top of the screen indicating how many players are left. And believe me, nothing is more intense than you being the last person alive on your team in a one-on-one showdown. With your teammates watching and cheering you on, the last thing you want to do is let them down.
Down to 15 seconds. Op 4 eliminated. Blue 4 mission successful.
But even if you die, you can still contribute. You can still operate working drones and security cameras on attack and defense, respectively, to mark enemy players for your team. Each round, you also have a finite amount of equipment to use, from grenades to breach charges to deployable shields, and knowing when and when not to use these is crucial. Before, I mentioned that you could play as a variety of different operators. Which operator you choose can greatly impact your playstyle, as each one has their own special ability. For example, one of the attackers, Sledge, carries around a sledgehammer, which allows him to break down certain walls, doors, windows, and floors in one swing. Another attacker, Blitz, carries a shield and can set off flashes to blind enemies. Between these two, Sledge has a more aggressive attack style, while Blitz players may play a little more methodically because of their shield. The same goes for defenders. Smoke can throw and set off remotely detonated toxic gas grenades to shut down an area for a short time, while Mute can place jammers to interrupt the enemy's drones and other electronic devices. The variety of operators was very refreshing, allowing for different ways to play in each round. In the beta, there were 7 attackers and 7 defenders, but in the final game, there will be more. You can also play as a recruit, which is just as viable as the operators, but without any special abilities. It's also a nice addition that each operator can be customized with weapons, attachments, and equipment. But what really brings Rainbow Six together is the crazy amount of destructibility it has to offer. In all the game's maps, you can blow up, shoot through, or melee most of the walls, ceilings, and floors. This means that in addition to enemies possibly lurking around every corner, they could be attacking from literally every angle. This adds a huge tactical twist to an otherwise fairly standard deathmatch experience. As defenders, you can make interesting new sightlines by mailing holes in walls. As attackers, you can use breach charge to bust in pretty much anywhere. There are 1,000 ways to approach any given situation, and I found myself trying new things often to see what worked and what didn't. As teamwork is very much encouraged in Rainbow Six, whether it be on attack or defense, it's definitely a much better time if you have a full team with mics that can communicate a plan. I had some of my most fun in the game while playing with a group of strangers with mics. We discussed strategy, picked our operators based off of what others chose, and worked together to formulate creative and devious plans to thwart our opponents. And even if you don't have a full team, playing with even just one friend is an awesome experience. And that's because of what I believe Rainbow Six nails the best, making you feel like a complete and total badass for doing the simplest things. Rappelling up a wall, performing a simultaneous breach with a teammate, having a trap you set up on defense pay off, locating the attacking team on security cameras, and many more all feel so cool to do. And man, breaching into a building and sneaking around, checking every corner, knowing every move could be your last, there isn't much else like it. And the operator's special abilities add to this feeling. Because no two people can pick the same operator, if you're a Thermite, you are the only one who can bust through reinforced walls. Or if you're Jaeger, you're the only one who can stop grenades from killing you and your team. This makes you feel like a critical member of the team every time you play. And when you're tired of playing online multiplayer, the PvE mode of the game, called Terrorist Hunt, is a welcome addition. Either solo, or with up to 4 other teammates, your goal is to infiltrate a building and eliminate all the terrorists inside. There's 3 difficulty modes, with realistic being downright brutal. Since there's so many terrorists, there's literally somebody in almost every room, so you have to plan your route of attack especially carefully. Fortunately, the tension is still present despite there being no human opponents, and staying alive through it all is truly a challenge. The beta wasn't without some caveats, however. I don't know if it was just me, but I found that fighting against someone with a shield was almost impossible. Since defenders don't get grenades, they have limited methods of getting around the nigh impenetrable moving wall. In addition, it was definitely more fun to play as the attackers, and it felt like the attackers had more interesting special abilities than the defenders. Hopefully, these both will be changed by launch. But these small squibbles aside, Rainbow Six has me sold. I'm more on board to buy this at launch, and I can't wait to see what new game modes, objectives, maps, and operators bring to this already great game. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Whether or not you're able to play the beta, tell me your thoughts about the game in the comments down below. Once again, my name is Ryan, aka Lethal Llama, and I'll see you next time.
Boom headshot! Boom headshot! I can dance all day! I can dance all day! Try to hit me! Try! Boom headshot!